Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Messy Sweet Spot. I am your host Gigi, and I have some more news to tell you guys. You're not gonna believe the video that I came across. It's a video, and they're saying behind the scenes, Shannon Sharpe, he's not doing good, you guys. I know you guys been seeing videos of him doing the electric slide, having a ball, but they're saying behind the scenes, he is suffering. He is so mad. He's at rage. He felt that Disney and Fox would have his back like they've been having his back. And he's trying to figure out what's going on. He feels like it's a conspiracy theory trying to take him down. He still is not accountable of what his wrongdoing was. He don't see what he's doing as a problem. And that Michelle, his ex that came out yesterday, he just sees her as a liar. You know, that does not affect him one bit. But I came across a video, and I think that you guys would like to take a look at it. So I want you guys to watch this video in its entirety. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. All right. So let's hear what they have to say about Shannon Sharpe spazzing out on Disney and ESPN. Check this video out.
If you say that one more time, I'm going to poke the shit out of you when I see you.
To no one's surprise, reports are coming out that Shannon Sharpe's career with Disney is over. For those who aren't aware, Disney owns pretty much everything.
I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously.
Shannon Sharpe just got publicly humiliated in a way nobody saw coming. One minute he was ESPN's golden boy, collecting million-dollar checks and playing the polished media darling. And the next, Disney and ESPN cut ties with him so fast it made his whole empire crumble overnight. And it wasn't just a scandal, it was a total collapse. Old lawsuits, hidden settlements, explosive audio leaks. It all started unraveling at once. ESPN employees turned against him. Disney executives panicked about their clean-cut image. Deals were ripped up. His million-dollar empire started crumbling under his feet. And Shannon? He wasn't ready. Now, instead of taking the loss quietly, he's fuming. Behind closed doors, insiders say Shannon is plotting revenge so messy it could drag half the network down with him. His legacy is burning, and he's ready to set the whole building on fire before he walks away. Something about Shannon Sharpe has been sitting in the back of people's minds for a while now. Like, we've been feeling it, but nobody wanted to say it out loud because it's Shannon Sharpe, a big, famous black man, a walking success story, someone we want to root for. But it's time to stop playing. Shannon Sharpe might be a lot of things, but smart? Smart is not one of them. Actually, it's the opposite. When it comes to football, Shannon's got the range. Man gave 30-plus years to the game, and it shows. He knows the field like the back of his hand. Plus, throw a camera on him, he shines. During the undisputed era with Skip Bayless, Shannon was everywhere. His memes were literally holding Black Twitter together during the pandemic. And when that gig ended, it made perfect sense for Stephen A. Smith to snatch him up for ESPN's First Take. It was a power move. On TV, Shannon had that rural black uncle vibe locked down. Brown liquor, cigar, durag and all. Some people side-eyed it as coon adjacent, but he was so entertaining that most people gave him a pass. Especially after Club Shay Shay went crazy viral in 2024, thanks to that Cat Williams interview. At that point, Shannon was sitting pretty. Everyone wanted a piece of him. A $100 million ESPN contract was literally on the table. And then, suddenly Shannon reminded the world he moves like a fool. Older men dating younger women is not shocking. Sean Diddy Combs was pushing 40 when he scooped up a 19-year-old Cassie. Eddie Murphy has enough kids to start a football team, and even he's married to someone 2 decades younger. The age gap thing isn't new. But Shannon took it to a whole other level. He was 54 messing with a 19-year-old. Even Leonardo DiCaprio would have looked at that and said, "You're doing too much." And it gets worse. Not only was he moving reckless with the age gap, he got caught slipping on tape. Shannon allegedly told the girl he'd choke her if she kept running her mouth. On tape. Whether she baited him into saying it or not, the fact that he fell for it just screams no situational awareness. And don't even get me started on the tape situation, because somehow, someway, there's a tape floating around. And guess what? Shannon doesn't even have an NDA protecting him. How are you 50 plus years old, a literal millionaire, and still moving like a freshman in a frat house, especially after the mess he already got into on Instagram last year? After that viral slip where his personal business got broadcast, you would think then would have been the wake-up call to lawyer up, lock down your privacy, get airtight NDAs on everyone. Well, that wasn't what Shannon did. At the end of the day, it's looking grim. ESPN, Disney? Yeah, they're not going to bat for him. It didn't even take 48 hours for everything to start crumbling. ESPN might have played it cute by announcing that Shannon was stepping away to handle personal matters. But let's keep it a buck. Insiders immediately spilled that this was not some voluntary timeout. One source said, "There are reports circulating that Shannon Sharpe career at ESPN is over." I reached out to a source familiar with production at ESPN on this, who tells me he is still on First Take Mondays and Tuesdays. So any other day of the week Shannon is not on is just a scheduled day off. But fans in the comments immediately knew, yeah, I think he'll be let go. They held him down with the first slip up. This is different though, and I don't see him surviving this as far as staying at ESPN. Guilty or not, he shouldn't be putting himself in this position at his age. Stephen A. Smith, who vouched for Shannon when he got hired, even had to get on his podcast and admit that he personally talked to Disney's big boss.
I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously. And we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. And that is all he said. And I can mention his name because I received his permission to say that. I don't know what that means.
He knew what time it was. This wasn't a break. This was a slow, quiet push out the door before the NFL season kicked off. They were trying to protect the brand, not the man.
In my perfect world, this equates to Jay-Z, where the case ultimately dropped and Shannon is allowed to continue on First Take and continue to thrive and shine. And not just that, and have an illustrious career in the podcast stratosphere, doing Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, doing Club Shay Shay, and ultimately gets this $100 million deal that he was all over the news about to sign just a couple of days before this report came out. In my perfect world, he moves on. And somehow, some way, we find this all to be false. But it doesn't seem like that's the way things are about to go down, considering who Mr. Busby is and how emphatic his client is proclaiming that she is right and she's telling the truth. I don't know where this is going to go. I can't speak to anything else. I don't know who Shannon Sharpe's legal team is and what they're suggesting. I imagine that everything that has transpired has been at the behest of his lawyers, not just himself.
But once the lawsuit hit the headlines, it was curtains. A $50 million civil suit filed by a 21-year-old woman accused Shannon of assault, battery, and emotional distress during what he swore was a consensual relationship. Shannon's camp scrambled, trying to say it was all consensual BDSM, that this was just a shakedown orchestrated by Tony Busby, the same lawyer dragging Diddy and Jay-Z into courtrooms.
This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
But it didn't matter. Not to Disney. Not to the ESPN employees who started raising hell internally, saying it was pure hypocrisy to protect Shannon when women inside the company were fired for way less. The writing was on the wall. Shannon had to go.
Usually companies use a morality clause when they're hiring somebody or considering someone who's potentially going to represent the company in a public way. The purpose of a morality clause is to protect the brand at the end of the day. Everything has to come back to the bottom line, and they have to be able to know that what they put out there is reflective of the brand and what we call in the industry brand safe. Disney is widely known for being very strict and not playing around when it comes to the morality clauses that they put into their talents contracts.
But that's not even scratching the surface.
But the immediate reaction from Disney is a reflection of the court of public opinion and Shannon fighting for his life with his brand image. And we wouldn't be in this place if he hadn't established such a strong tie to having an affinity to assert his sexual dominance and preference on everyone else. We know too much about him, and it's now coming back to bite him.
And once the lawsuit opened the floodgates, all of Shannon's skeletons came tumbling out. And baby, that closet was packed tighter than a Shane warehouse. First up, his type. Shannon's long-documented obsession with chasing very young, racially ambiguous women while simultaneously clowning black women with dignity came back to haunt him. And no moment exposed that clearer than his humiliation of Yvonne Orji. Chad Ochocinco tried to set Shannon up with Yvonne, who is beautiful, successful, celibate, basically the woman men claim they're praying for.
What y'all think about this God-fearing woman who has herself aligned in the right places being unionized with because she would be perfect for you and what you have going on. Not only is she walking the path of righteousness, but she has the vision that can open the door where you trying to get to. Now, what you think about that?
Shannon didn't just decline. He laughed out loud on camera.
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you
Miss Nasty B,
brother.
Miss Nasty.
Yeah. I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking straight and narrow.
He even tossed out the name of Miss B. Nasty, a white OnlyFans star, as more his speed.
Give me Miss Nasty B. I have the bottle right there by my bed. Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do. man, let me play it, Lord. I'm sorry. I'm up here fooling. See, you always on some bullshit.
It wasn't funny. It was loud, clear, and cruel. And it showed that Shannon's idea of an ideal woman was the complete opposite of a black woman walking in dignity and faith. And to make it worse, once the internet started connecting the dots, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Gabriela Zuniga, the woman suing him for $50 million, is young, white passing, vulnerable, exactly Shannon's type. But Gabriela didn't just allege controlling behavior. She dropped bombs, claims that Shannon filmed her without consent, ignored safe words, and crossed lines even after she begged him to stop. And when she tried to walk away, Shannon allegedly offered her $10 million to keep quiet. When she refused and went public, Shannon cried, "Shakedown," but the damage was already done. And the leaked audios? They didn't help at all. One clip caught Shannon saying this.
If you say that one more time, I'm going to poke the shit out of you when I see you.
Another captured him joking about it.
I'm angry at you in public. Big black guy, small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
His defense team tried to fire back with receipts, showing old texts where Gabriela supposedly asked for rough role play, dominance, even abuse. But here's the problem. Even if 99% of the relationship was consensual, the second Gabriela said no, and he allegedly kept going, that's game over. Consent is not a one-time blanket pass. It's ongoing. And ignoring a no changes the entire conversation. But Shannon's downfall isn't just about Gabriela. Old skeletons started tumbling out the closet. A new report dropped saying Shannon once got into it with a female production assistant back when he was at Undisputed with Skip Bayless. And apparently, There was a quiet settlement worth hundreds of thousands. Then there's his messy situation with ex-girlfriend Michelle Evans back in 2010. Michelle filed a restraining order against Shannon after claiming he assaulted her during a breakup over cheating allegations. She alleged that Shannon forced her to her knees and assaulted her without consent. And guess what? That mess got Shannon quietly dropped from CBS Sports back then. History is looking real cyclical right about now. Then Michelle sat down with Tasha K and spilled even more tea about Shannon's weird bedroom obsessions, his controlling behavior, and his dark side that most of the public never saw.
He loved to have his booty played with. That part might not have been everyday sex, but other than that, it's just...
Well, so like you put fingers and tongue in his butt?
Yeah. You know, there were times where I wondered if maybe he was bi, but then I would tell myself, no, that doesn't mean he's gay just because he likes his booty being played with.
Do you think you kind of opened up his butt to new experiences?
No, I can't imagine because he already liked it.
And if you thought the Monique and Cat Williams episodes on Club Shay Shay aged badly before, pull them back up now. Monique practically begged Shannon on camera to stop chasing young girls and find a mature woman who could love him for real.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get your old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Kat joked about how dangerous it was for black men to mess around with young white women.
Had me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
Come on, Kat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the drug story from when I'm in the park.
Yeah. And let's be real. Disney and ESPN didn't drop Shannon because they suddenly grew a moral compass overnight. They dropped him because employees inside the building started demanding action, especially the women. Multiple insiders said that the hypocrisy was too loud to ignore. Women had lost jobs over small infractions, while Shannon was being shielded despite serious accusations. There was real fear bubbling up. Fear of a class action lawsuit for discrimination. Fear of bad press. Fear of another Me Too scandal brewing on their watch. Disney saw the smoke and didn't wait around for the fire. And Disney don't care about loyalty. Disney cares about shareholders, sponsors, and keeping their image squeaky clean. Shannon became a liability overnight. And when the female employees at ESPN started talking about how fast they got punished for way smaller things, posting a pic with a politician, standing too close during COVID, meanwhile Shannon's still employed with way bigger accusations? Yeah, Disney knew they had a huge discrimination lawsuit just waiting to pop off if they didn't move quick. So they cut bait. So now, Shannon's stepping away till football season. Allegedly. Reality? He's not coming back. And honestly, even if he did, the stain's there forever. It's sad. He could have been bigger than Stephen A., had his own sports empire, but now he's fighting for his public image. And poor Stephen A. Smith, he got caught looking like the messy middleman. After all, he was the one who campaigned for Shannon to join First Take. He was the one who promised it would be ratings gold. Now, Stephen A's scrambling to distance himself. The mask is off. The receipts are everywhere. The timeline is littered with red flags everyone ignored because Shannon was funny, relatable, viral. But beneath the memes and muscle shirts was a man making reckless choices, stacking enemies and playing with fire. And now, the fire finally caught up. Shannon thought he was too beloved, too polished, too powerful to fall. He thought the rules didn't apply to him. He thought he could keep chasing 19-year-olds and laughing at black women's dignity without consequences. He thought he could silence skeletons with NDAs and hush money. But karma doesn't take bribes. And now, everything he built is collapsing in real time, faster than he can post another thirst trap on Instagram. And if you thought this was bad, buckle up, because Gabriela Zuniga's team isn't done. More audios, more texts, maybe even full videos are rumored to be coming. And trust me, the next video, you're not gonna want